Hello from Dublin, Ireland, and I'm in my little space that we call Soklahoma. And I recently have restored two Singer 15Ks, and I just wanted to share some musings about this. So I've been an enthusiast for about, I'd say, 15 years, and I'm learning all the time. And I certainly don't profess to know everything. I do know a fair bit. And obviously, like yourselves, I use YouTube, AndyTube, all the good guys to find out more about my machines. So before I settled into doing these machines, I have had these machines actually for about 10 years. I can't remember how much I paid for them. All I know is I paid for them, I gave them a wipe down, and I may have shown them off a little bit, and I don't think I really ever sewed with them. So I've decided, to sit down and actually clean them up. And I learned so much. Like, for example, how come this one has this, okay, and what's it for? And how come this one, it doesn't have anything? So my musings are as follows. And you probably all know this anyway, but I know that there was loads of versions of 15s, right? So there was the 1588, the 1589, the 1590, the 1591, and I was trying to understand what was the difference. So what I can figure out is that one was a treadle, one was a hand crank, and then one was a motor. I figured out that in America, you could have a potted motor, 1591. In Europe, certainly in Ireland, I've never seen a potted motor. That never seemed to make its way over here. So the only motors that we have on these... Oh, my phone rang, so I've just resumed the video. Yeah, so I was just saying, I didn't know what this was. And I figured out, 1580, 88, 90, 91. 91 is a potted motor. We didn't have them in Europe. But I have figured out that this is a 1580. And I have my book, which I printed off, 1580. And this one, I have not polished it yet. You can see it's quite clean. It's from 1955. And it has the black badge. Okay. This one, I have cleaned it up. And it's so nice, I'm going to keep it. This is from 1958. And it actually wasn't in bad condition. No, it's not the one I'm going to keep. Sorry, this is the one I'm going to keep. This is the best condition one. This is the one from 1958. And I remember I bought this and I didn't use it because for the longest time, this thing was broken. And this kept flapping down by itself. And it took me a long time to find a screw that was small enough to fit in there. Okay, so that is the best one. And the case is in great nick. But I still didn't know what this did. What is it? Is it for holding spools? Why is it there? What is that little thing there? So I kept turning it and nothing was happening. And I didn't understand why. And then I went to this one. Now this one, I was like, right, turned it, but something was happening. And what I figured out was, it's for lowering the feed dogs. Who knew? It's for lowering the feed dogs. And this little shuttle comes back and goes forward. That's supposed to pop down. But this machine was black. I mean, it was so dirty. It was, I don't know what it was covered in. I'd say probably nicotine. It was well oiled, but you could say that, but it was covered in oil. It was oiled so much that the person who had it even covered the tension discs in oil. I mean, the tension discs, actually, the whole thing had like varnishy oil on it. So it was like as if they just thought, oh, I need to oil this machine. I am going to oil it. I'm going to oil everything. Everything I see, I'm going to oil. So it was really, really dirty. I had that in the shed. But look, all of it's cleaned out now. It's actually stitching lovely. The only problem with this one is, So I don't know what I was saying there. The only problem with this one is I don't see any problem with this one. It has a funny kind of a case. There's nowhere to store your tools at the side. These are all the cases that they came with. I didn't change them. They are quite 50s, I think. And it's fine. I actually was very good. I taught myself how to take apart. I went on to Helen House and found her how to fettle hand crank video. So, or should I say blog. So this is the first time I've ever taken a hand crank completely apart and cleaned it and oiled it on the inside. And I'm also going to do what she said, which is to stop the ting-ting. Ting-ting. So I'm going to get leather and I'm going to stitch it around there to stop that ting-ting. So it'll be super quiet. So that one's going up for sale, 100%. This one is missing the bobbin tension thing, so I've ordered that from Helen House. But everything else is fine. 1580 needs a bit of a clean up, not too bad. And then this one's my new baby for now. And she's doing lovely. And if I lift this up here, I'll just drop the feed dogs now. There's the dogs going down. There they're going up. There they're going down. So that's for darning. So I thought to myself, how do you darn with a hand crank? But there is a girl on YouTube who has a great video up, and it's yes, you can free motion quilt or stitch or darn. You can do it free motion with a hand crank. It is possible. Everything's possible. So that's it. So they're my thoughts on my 15Ks. I have another one in the shed, which is Sphinx decals, which I haven't touched, and it's in bits, and I have to clean that up and put it into a treadle. But that's all for now. Thank you very much. Bye-bye from Oklahoma and Dublin, Ireland. Forgot to say that I figured out, obviously, I keep saying figured out, but actually I'm doing what everybody else is doing, which is I'm Googling furiously and looking it up online. Bob Fowler was the name of the other guy. I couldn't remember his name. Bob Fowler, Andy Tube. And it's not just all the great guys, it's all the great girls as well, because there's loads of women who do fantastic restorations on YouTube. So all the warrior queens. So I think that this is a 15K 110 because it's a hand crank. Or maybe a 15K 110 was for a treadle, a 15K 111 was for a hand crank, and a 15K 112 was the same thing with a motor. So yeah, answers on a postcard please. I do not know. I'm guessing. But I printed off my instructions as well, and it definitely is the right one that has this little dial that turns the feed dogs up and down. So yes, thank you. Thank you for listening to my musings.